Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Let's talk about attachment. According to the Buddhists, attachment is the root of all suffering. It leads to suffering. It's like number one in their mission of things to conquer. I think about it for myself, and I just got to think, well, what is attachment? It's basically holding on to something, clutching on to something, clinging. I think a lot of people mistake a certain type of possessive, toxic love as attachment. They think that if I'm so incredibly attached to something, I need it so bad I can't let it go. I'm so infatuated and obsessed with something that someone might notice, well, gosh, you really seem to be attached to that. You must really love it. I think that's an immature, childish form of love. So I don't like to say that love is attachment. Because love, according to people like Krishnamurti, Alan Watts, those types, love is the cure for attachment. So how could love be the cure for attachment if you're defining it as love is attachment, extreme attachment? So you have to be clear on what love is. Love is like when you love a song. You don't want to own the song so nobody can hear it and possess it and hide it, hoard it, put it in your safe. You just want to interact with it. You just want to hear it. I love that fucking song. Let's play that song. I love that song. You want other people to hear it. You want to bring your friend to the concert so they can enjoy it too. You gotta fucking check out this song. This song's so badass. People love music. I know I do. When I really love a song, that's a pure sense of love. That's an interactive sense of love. That's a giving sense of love. I'm giving my attention. I'm giving my enjoyment. If you've ever been to just a really good concert where the band is just really good, it feels like a magical moment. And everybody in the room is all in the same vibe and really catching it. You have to understand what love is, because if you engage in a toxic brand of possessive love, you own something. It's just going to be the root of your suffering when you lose it. People become attached to, they become attached to people, to other people. We all do. Attached to your mother, attached to your father, attached to your kids, attached to your wife, attached to your best friend, the paper boy, the guy who works at the corner store, whatever. People are attached to all kinds of other people. When people die, it's really hurtful. How do you plan on acting at your father's funeral, at your mother's funeral? Throw yourself on the coffin and cry, flop around on the floor, screaming and flailing around. People have to console you. Or are you going to be strong enough to console others, to be able to handle organizing the event, to be there for other people that may not be strong enough to cry on your shoulder? You have a choice how you're going to handle big things in life, really fucked up things. How are you going to handle something like that? If your wife dies. Some people handle this stuff by just committing suicide, spiraling out of control with addiction, self-destructive behavior. That's hardly a plan. You can't have somebody else be your puppet master, holding you to get the glue holding you together or whatever, you know? I mean, I want to be strong enough to be there for others. So you don't want to have an attachment to people, but that doesn't mean you don't love them, because you have to understand what love is. A loving parent doesn't want their 18-year-old kid to live at home forever. A loving parent wants their 18-year-old kid to be strong enough, smart enough, bold enough, courageous enough to go out into the world, to get a job or to go to college or to go to the military or something productive towards their future and start to experience things. I mean, that's what the healthy parent wants. Wants their kid to be free, wants that flower to bloom. You know, that's the type of love we're talking about, not the possessive love. So when you have a possessive love over people and they leave you, for whatever reason, good or bad, break down. Your life is over because you tied too much into them. I think in every video I made, I got my tea across the table for some reason. I got to put it closer to me so I don't have to keep leaning into the camera. We can have attachment to places and things, to a house. If your house burns down, there's a tornado in the news just the other day, or yesterday, I guess. I woke up this morning and saw it. It's terrible. I hope those people are all right, but you can't be attached to physical things for the same thing you can't be attached to people. Places, things, your city. These things are not part of your identity. They're more fleeting. They're just choices that you've made. But you can't be too attached to one choice, to one purchase. You can get another set of Air Jordans. You can get another house. You can make memories in a different house. People are attached to their memories, to the past. Overly attached to the past. This is where nostalgia comes from. You know, it's strange to me because I'm not a very nostalgic person, and I watch these Barrett-Jackson auctions or the Mecum auction, these car auctions, these classic car auctions, and I find those rather entertaining. But some of these cars, I remember these cars very well from when I was a kid. And you used to see Camaros and Mustangs and Chevelles and GTOs and whatever. You see these cars barreling through the neighborhood, and they have the fucking big slicks on the back tubbed and the blowers fucking popping out of the hood and whatever. I mean, that shit was everywhere back when I was a little kid. And those cars were not fancy cars. They weren't rich people cars. That was, if you wanted a fast car on a budget and you couldn't afford a Porsche or a Lamborghini or a Ferrari, you couldn't be Don Johnson, you know, from Miami Vice, then you got yourself a fucking working class sports car. That's what muscle cars were. Then they turned into these $100,000, $1 million. I see some of these cars go for $1 million, and I wonder why. Why is that shit that when I was a kid was a $3,000 piece of shit redneck car that some mullet motherfucker, Joe Dirt, was going to drive, and now it's worth $1 million? These guys with these fucking $10,000 Rolex fucking watches and shit. I always look at people's watches for some reason, but they're all bidding on this fucking cars. Why? To relive their past. That's the nostalgia. They're just living in the past. They just want a piece of it, a piece of the feeling that they used to feel. I don't really understand that shit because I live in the present. I feel like attachment to the past is unhealthy. You have an unhealthy attachment to the past, it's like you're always looking behind you, always looking in your rearview mirror. I don't care if you're driving through the most beautiful countryside. You can't experience it through your rearview mirror. You have to just look at it for what it is. People are attached to their opinions, to their ideology. That's a really bad one. They make these statements. They think that their opinions and their ideology, their beliefs are carved in stone. This is the way I've always been. This is the way I was raised. Humans would have never evolved. We'd still be stuck in the dark ages if motherfuckers refused to think new things, come up with new ideas, to allow their entire framework of reality to be broken down and shattered right in front of their eyes. Have you ever had that happen? That's happened to me before. And to have to just kind of rebuild it from scratch and realize, well, everything I fucking thought was a goddamn lie. Everything I was taught was wrong. I have to start rethinking everything. God damn it. I mean, that's a very mature, liberating experience to go through. That's evolution. That's how we grow. Some people are so attached to their beliefs, politics. As I've gotten older, my politics have changed. When I was younger, I was much more radical. Now I'm less so, much more conservative. Surprise myself sometimes when I come down on a side of a story that my parents would come down on, and I start thinking, geez, what happened to that radical side of me? And we grow out of things, and that's healthy. I mean, that's you're supposed to. You have attachments to your beliefs. You stay retarded. I guess I can't say that word. I'll probably get banned for saying that word. I mean, attachments gives us security, so we have to wonder, why do we do it? It gives us a sense of security. It gives us a sense of belonging. We can be attached to a community, attached to various things, and those attachments all made up become our profile. That's just who I am. Is who you are. The accomplishments, the tangible things that you can put check marks off on your list, or that you can put on your resume, is that what you are? Or are you the desire that was behind that? The strength, the struggle that was behind that? The best way to get rid of attachments, and I had to write this down because I wanted to make sure that I got it right. And I don't like to make videos just to rant and talk bullshit. I like to always leave people with something that we can think about as far as how to move forward. So if we have attachments, we want to get past it. Attachments are the roots of all suffering. It causes us suffering to attach to shit, to cling to shit. How do we get out of it? So this is a quote by Krishnamurti. Where there is love, there is no attachment. And that's what I was talking about before, with that possessive kind of love versus the liberating, interactive, giving type of love. So you can have possessive love or giving love. A giving love is the type that will rescue a wounded animal and let it go when it's healed. And have that wonderful feeling of watching that bird fly off that you fixed its broken wing. So love is a way to get past attachments. But you have to be thinking clearly on what love is. Another way to get past attachments is through acceptance. Acceptance beats attachment. Acceptance destroys attachment. Kids learn this at a young age when a little girl is holding her ice cream cone and she drops it. Ice cream is so delicious, we all love it. Kids really love it. Such a special treat. It was for me. Kids start crying. I think almost all kids will start crying if their ice cream drops right in front of them. It's so upsetting. You're so excited to have it. It was yours, and you're going to possess it. You're going to own it. You're going to devour it, literally devour it. I mean, that's the ultimate form of possession, is to put something in your mouth and to eat it and to consume it. And then because of your own weakness, whatever it was, not paying attention, you drop it. This thing you want so bad, it's ruined. I've never seen a kid happily jump down on the ground and slop it up off the ground like a dog. They just stand there staring at it, crying. It's the worst thing ever. The parent just laughs Because it's just ice cream. There's going to be other ice cream. Ice cream's really not that important. You know, I mean, it's good, but you got to get over it. You got to accept it. You got to accept it. How we do anything is how we do everything. I could belabor this point, but I'll just kind of stop there. You got to learn to accept shit. Accept the past is over. Accept that you didn't end up like you wanted to end up. Accept the future may not be what you had hoped. That's a hard one. I was supposed to be successful. I was supposed to be this. It's supposed to be that. You may have to accept that what you thought was going to happen, that fairy tale that you created when you were younger, that didn't really matter. That other things matter as you get older. The wiser you get, the more you realize that there's no predestined path. So acceptance. Acceptance will deliver us from the misery of attachment. It's kind of a long video. Hope some people got some value out of it. Thanks for watching.